Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. My guest, Lauren Thompson, is here, and she's going to share a little bit about what it is that she does and who she is. Lauren, take it away.
Well, thanks for having me, Tammi. Hi, guys. I'm Lauren Thompson, and I am an intuitive coach and healer. And I work primarily with women on, shedding their limiting beliefs and improving their self-love so that they can improve their lives and embrace their authentic selves and be more confident. That's something I've kind of gone through my life and still am, but have moved past a lot of it. And life's a journey, so that's kind of like why I like helping women with at this time in my business.
That's powerful. I was actually going to ask you, how did you come there? What made you decide that that was the area that you wanted to work in as far as your business?
Well, I never thought I would be a business owner, to be honest. I thought I was just gonna, go to college, get a job, getting boring life, maybe get married, maybe have kids, retire, then die. I mean, I just thought it was just gonna be like a boring life.
Lord, that's fatalistic. So you had the typical map of where you thought your life was going to go.
Yes, I did.
So what was the change? I mean, what made you decide that this was where you wanted to go?
So about 5 years ago, I was in a kind of like toxic relationship. So that was kind of the catalyst for it, and having to move out of that and having to heal from that. I just wanted to feel better. I didn't understand why I wasn't like getting over it. Not that I didn't really date much anyway, but I didn't understand like why I wasn't getting over it. Why did I even attract this person, and all that stuff, and just trying to heal. So from there I kind of got into journaling and listening to kind of like coaches on Facebook and learning about emotional abuse and all this other stuff. So that's how it led up to. And I still didn't think like, oh, I was going to work in this area. But eventually I kind of found psychic work as well, like psychic stuff on Facebook, and I loved it because I've always been interested into that energy psychic work. I didn't know exactly how it works, but from watching Sylvia Brown on the Montel Jordan show. Not Montel. Montel Williams.
You took it back.
I loved her on there.
I just caught that. I like Montel Jordan too, but I just caught that. I was like, yeah, it was Montel Williams.
Montel Williams. I used to love that. She would be on like every Wednesday or something eventually.
Yeah.
Like that and like That's So Raven with her visions and stuff. Like I always knew that I had something. I just didn't know how to like describe it. But yes, that's kind of how I ended up here, going from that relationship to the psychic work and then learning about coaching. And it's like, well, who do you want to work with? Who is your ideal client and stuff? And
yeah,
I always hear it's like, oh, it's you like a few years ago or something. So it's like, well, yeah, it's women who have self-esteem or self-love issues and things like that I want to work with. And I'm still analytical brain because I went to school for engineering, so it's like a balance.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, it's like the woo.
Yeah,
but analytical.
But you got the right brain also.
Yeah.
Yes, that actually is a good marriage if you think about it.
I think so.
That's a good marriage, because the one thing you can help women that are like you said, that are primarily more right brain, but they embrace the woo. And that's like,
Yes.
that's powerful because there actually are a lot. I actually met a lady at a, what is the name of that thing? An apothecary. That's like a store that has herbs and all this kind of stuff and different teas and whatever. And so I met a lady that owns the apothecary, and she actually does like computer something in her day job, but she nourishes her woo side with this apothecary, which is amazing. I thought it was neat, so she gets like the best prices and the best, stuff and everything. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty good marriage.
Yeah, I like
And she
that.
can also, leverage the other part of it, because a lot of times when you're more on the woo side, it's hard to deal with that other stuff.
Yes.
And that's something that you can balance. That's amazing. So do you feel like, as maybe as a child, did you have any type of psychic gifts that you can see looking back? I mean, was it something that you were interested in even back then?
Yeah, because I even had a friend, like, we watched That's So Raven a lot, and like, so we always describe it as like, yeah, we have these feelings, like, we would be so goofy with it. But it was like deja vu, lots of it as a child. I still have it, but even some visions. So I guess the clairvoyance was there back then. And back then, and still now, I see these little dots. They're not orbs, but they're very colored dots. And my cousin, who was into some stuff that's not that great, but she like told my mom, like, oh, I see the spirit of dead children. And that never really resonated, but I know it's something spirit related. So then someone told me, like, maybe a year or so ago, I see fairies, like those are my fairies. It resonates a little bit more, but I don't know who they are. I just think they're like my little spirit helpers. And I remember, I don't know how old I was. I had to have been 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I would see like a snake in our hallway, from my bedroom. And I remember I would send my little dots out there to get it and stuff. Yeah, of course my mom like didn't want to freak me out. So she told me like, oh, it's from the computer screen that's making this. And me being a kid, I believed it.
Okay.
Right. And then
So,
I got older and like, oh, yeah, that's not what it was. I was seeing some crazy stuff here.
well, you think about it, moms can be like your ego. They just want to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me just not tell her, and yeah, yeah. A lot of times that's how that is. So going forward, um, matter of fact, let's just talk about the clients that you work with. So, uh, how do you identify and connect with the clients that you work with?
I
Like
enjoy
you,
holding I like holding space for people because I think what I've experienced in my own life is that people just love to talk. They just like to talk about their own stuff and get that out the way, and they don't really show that they care about you. Not that they're doing it on purpose, but that's just kind of how we operate sometimes. So I like to give people the opportunity to speak, like what's going on with them. And at times it is kind of like pulling teeth with someone who's not who's not used to that. But I just like holding that space and like, so what's the real issue here? Like we get to the surface stuff, okay, like okay, I get that's going on in your life, but like what's the deeper thing that's kind of going on? And I like to do that with other modalities to use, whether it's EFT, Reiki, whatever, to help them shift out of that.
let's talk about that. So, what modalities do you use?
Let's see, EFT, Reiki, angelic healing, cards, SRT, things like that.
Okay, share about what angelic healing is.
So angelic healing is like calling down the main four archangels down to bring healing energy to your body, physically, mentally, emotionally, all the energy bodies. And they come and they kind of do the work. I mean, I do my Reiki as I'm doing it. Like, I like working with Archangel Raphael a lot. He'll kind of point me like what areas I can kind of work with. I'm seeing the other big time angels crack away at the stuff. So, and it's pretty powerful energy. I love it. To hold
I
that
was gonna say it
space.
sounds like it. Yeah, that's very similar to what I do.
I
I
had to
invite the
feel,
guys and
yeah.
angels in. That's why I said I have a healing grid that I take the people to, and I invite their guides and the archangels and the angels and ancestors and everybody showing up,
It's a
and
party.
just work and doing what I can, and sometimes not anything, just holding the space, and helping to shift the energy. So I think it's just that, to me, that's work that lights me up and fires me up that I wish I could do every day. Do you feel that way?
I do. I love it. I love just seeing people feel better. I think that's just
Yeah,
what lights me up
yes.
too.
Yes, it's like the transitions. I love to see, like, if my clients tell me that, you know, after they got my session or my reading or whatever, that they made changes, and that they were going to do this, but they decided, because I gave them this message, that they're going to go this way and not the other way. And
Mhm.
it's to me, it's ginormous. I know that's a word somebody made up, but it's ginormous. It's like so huge, because I feel like I was instrumental in, helping them to transition to this other place. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes. And it doesn't feel like work. Like, I think spirit,
Yes.
I'm like, thank you for allowing me to do this work, even though it doesn't feel like work. Like, thank you.
Yes. Yes. That is it. Because sometimes I know, for me, I used to think I must not be doing it right because it should be hard.
Yes.
Did you experience that as well?
I feel that. I was like, is this it?
Right. I mean, honestly, it's like, what? And I never, the first time I did it, the first time I had a client that I did that work with, it was like so easy, and it just flowed so nicely. And I was like, I hope I did it right.
Yes.
because, because it just was such an easy flow, and I felt like, I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like I was born to do this work, kind of like this
Yeah.
podcast. I feel like I was born to do this, and that work is like, it lights me up and sets me on fire. It's like, if I could get up every single day and know that I could take some clients to my healing grid, that would be like, oh, almost like a slice of heaven.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see that you feel the same, because it's all over your face, because you're glowing now. It's like, oh my
Yes.
God. So how do you find your clients to do the angelic healing? Because that was the thing for me, because I'm actually going out in the community now. I'm creating some marketing material and going out in the community and talking to people, and doing that, especially since now things are open. But how are you finding your clients for your angelic healing?
Honestly, I'm still working on it. To be honest, like figuring out how to do the marketing to find paid clients for things, and mainly it's just been kind of like practice sessions in different groups, like the group that we're in,
Yeah.
and things like that. And it's
Well, that's
fun.
a good thing, because I mean, I was going to say, and you get comfortable.
Yeah.
You get comfortable, because that's the thing. I only did a practice with, well, actually, I took my husband to the healing grid, and I activated him. So he was the first person that I did. And then, it was good because, my teachers were there and, because that's what we had to do to get certified and all that. And that was good. And then after that, I had a paying client and I was like so nervous. I was so nervous. But what, it turned out really, really good. I mean, she got amazing results, which was, was far more than I even, could think of, but she got amazing results. And I was like, okay. So now I'm like, okay, yeah, I need this. I need this all the time because this is so fiery. It's like, when I do it, it just lights me up. And then when I see their transitions and when I see them, taking my stuff and running with it, because I'm telling you, when my mom came and did my podcast and talked about her activation and stuff and how it just fired her up and lit her up, I was like, my mom's tough. So for that to do that for her, I was like, oh my God, it kind of set me on fire now. So where do you see this going for you? I mean, do you have a vision of how you want it to be in the future for you? Do you have like, like, are you thinking maybe eventually doing some group sessions where people can get transition? Because it sounds like what you do, that would work out really well. Just because of the things that you'll be taking the people through. And then they can kind of support each other. That's what I'm seeing. But what do you see for your going forward with your business? Because you got to have a vision.
This is true.
Because without a vision, the people perish.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. I do see one-on-one work still being a part of it, but also eventually
Mm-hmm.
working with maybe like a small group of women, maybe 4 or 5 women at a
Yes.
time. Because I
Yes.
do like those little small containers because you can help each other out. And like the questions that someone else has, you probably already have too. So I do see that. I I'm kind of in the unknown phase a little bit with things,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of open. But I do
Yeah.
still
So you
see
feel your
women
way.
at the forefront. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting my way, figuring that out.
Because the tools you have are amazing. I mean, because you can take them through and bring them through with the tapping, because the tapping is going to release and open them up and set them free. And then you
Yeah.
can go on, move on with the angelic healing. I mean, I'm seeing great things for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm like, ooh, wow. Because the angelic healing and the Reiki, they go together,
Yeah.
because it's basically all energy. And that's the way I see it. It's like it's all energy.
And like
Still moving
ethereal
in vibration.
crystals and sort of, yeah, it's all energy.
Yes. So whatever it is that you can do to help bring people peace, that's what I see for you. And I maybe I'm overstepping.
No, I like that, just resonated like some bring people peace. Like, I love that. That's what we all
Because
need and want.
yes, I was gonna say, and the thing is sometimes people need it and they don't even know they need it.
Yeah.
And I find that sometimes, people will say, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want. But then once you get into a session with them, that ain't what they want. They want peace. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And being a reader and an amazing psychic like you are, you can feel that and you can see it as well.
Yeah. You ever have those times where like your shoulders just like up and like you just feel all the tension? And it's just finally you get a moment just like release that stuff. Like, we need that too. It's all that, the peace, the release the peace.
Yes, yes, because the thing is it's so much easier to live in the world if you have some peace,
Yeah.
and it and and I think, like I said, like you said, people are at this place where they're in their lives and they have all these things that they've gone through, and so really it has created all these traumas. They made all these crazy neural pathways, and so things are just kind of getting in the pathway instead of them releasing some of that stuff and letting it go. And and then you don't want to be callous to people and say, well, you know what, you just need to let that go,
Right.
because that's callous. Because if
That's
they could
so
let it go, they
annoying.
probably would. Very much. So I know you probably have had times where people said that to you. You just need to let that go.
Hmm. That's so annoying. Like if I could, I would. Like you said, it's just like things get trapped, especially when you start learning more about this. Things get trapped in our minds and our bodies and even organs and stuff. It's like it's not easy to just let something go, especially when it's kind of ingrained in you. Like these things didn't just start like yesterday. It started like from childhood and stuff. Like we've been indoctrinated in sort of patterns or whatever. Like patterns are not easy to break. Emotions are not easy to
Exactly.
clear, you know.
Yeah, that is so real. And the thing is if you, it seems like you actually even could work with the younger people.
That's who I prefer to.
Younger.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's your jam. It's like, because people, they need help. A lot of times we discount, younger people, and older people are just famous for that. They just, don't listen to nothing they say and all that. But I believe that the young people is the future. They wrote a song about it. Children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Is that
So if we will just, grab the children, because it feels like, I mean, I think we talked about this before, but I keep seeing a nonprofit in your future.
really?
Yes. Like a nonprofit where you can work with the kids, regardless of whether they have money or whatever, because a lot of times the kids that don't have money are the ones that are left behind.
Yeah.
Because the other ones, their parents can afford to send them and get them training and this and that. And a lot of them are waking up too. And so they're trying to make sure their kids are woke and all this kind of stuff. But, the kids that parents don't have money, those are the ones a lot of times that get left behind, and they need help even more. So I just, something that came across. So mhm.
I can
This was
see
not
that.
my intention. However, I believe in divine instruction and timing and all that good stuff.
I love it.
But yeah, that's something that, yeah, you might want to, you know, dig into that a little more.
Yeah, and
See
I
how
used
that
to
feels for you.
tutor. Yeah, and I used to tutor and like mentor before, like even in what grade was that? Maybe like fifth grade. Like we used to tutor like first graders and second graders and like help them out with like if they didn't have like certain supplies. I remember the guy that I had. He was a little first grader or second grader, and like bought him like this 64 pack of Crayola crayons. That was the jam back in the day, like with the sharpener. Yeah, like that just made his day. Like so, I could see stuff like that with like helping people have those things because that just makes someone's day. Having those
Yes, it
resources.
does. I mean, the thing is it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
It's the little things. And the thing is too, what I notice is those kids appreciate it so much more,
Yeah.
because their parents either might not be able to get it for them, or they just might not get it for them.
Yeah.
Some parents just don't think things like that are important, and you never know, you might be nurturing the next big Van Gogh, or the next Mozart or whatever. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
never know. Just one little thing might be the thing, the catalyst. Because I saw a story where one of the NFL players was honoring his teacher, and he was saying how this teacher believed in him. He had trouble reading or whatever, and I think they found out he was dyslexic or something. And so this teacher actually believed in him and actually took the time to teach him. and took the time to find out what was going on with him, and actually got him the help that he needed. And he was so appreciative of her. And I thought that was such an amazing story because we need to hear that kind of stuff anyway, right?
Yes. We need those good
It's time out
stories.
for all the yes. I mean, just really, and especially somebody that even just appreciates, because a lot of times, teachers and people that do this type of work and mentoring and things like that, they don't get no appreciation. They don't get no love.
No.
And it's really bad. It's sad, I think. However, yeah. So let the people know. Oh, one more question. I got to do one last question always. So, my one last question is, if you had an ideal client situation to work with, what would that look like for you? And I'm not talking about that surface stuff like what do they watch and what do they drive and none of that craziness. I'm talking about, within themselves.
I would love to work with someone who has kind of struggled throughout their life with who they are or feeling there's something wrong with them. Because I've been through that. Sometimes still deal with it, but I like working with that sort of thing where either you feel like you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you, you're too sensitive, you're too whatever, because you're not too sensitive, you're probably just empathic, and you don't need to change yourself for this world. You don't need to make yourself harden for the world. That's kind of who I like to work with, the more sensitive or, artsy or someone like that. I like that stuff.
That is powerful. I like that. You don't need to change for this world. That's powerful.
Yeah,
All right,
because
so
like
tell the
even
people, Lauren.
oh, okay.
Go ahead.
like oh, okay. Because even with like people I'm around, like they're always so hard. You need to toughen up. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's like we're all different for a reason. So yeah, we need the hardened parts of the society. We need the more sensitive stuff in the society, and to blend that. It's like we all have to be the same. Wouldn't that be boring anyway?
Exactly. Exactly. That would really be boring because it's like you said, we're not all the same. We're different for a reason. And I think our differences is what make this world great, to be honest. I think,
Yeah.
only my opinion. So share with the people where they can find you if they are wanting to connect, because that was just powerful just to be able to, deal with people who society wants to throw out, is what I heard.
Yeah.
Deal with people that society has pushed down and, made feel small and all that kind of stuff. Let those people know where they can find you to connect with you.
You can find me on my Facebook business page, Accent Your Flame. And my personal profile on there is Lauren Thompson. But you can also go to my website, accentyourflame.com. And Instagram, same thing. Accent Your Flame is all Accent Your Flame. That's where you can
That is
find me.
powerful, actually. Awesome. That means you're across the board, Accenture Flame.
Yes. I love it.
That's awesome. I love it too. And I am so appreciative that you have come on my show today. This has been fabulous. As usual, I mean, I always enjoy the show, but I enjoy it as well today. And I'm so grateful. I'm so honored that you chosen to come on here and present yourself. And that's just amazing because I love when young people come on my show because I think that children are our future. I think that y'all are the future. So we need to make sure that we are nourishing you guys and loving on y'all because y'all are the future. So again, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you also for coming in my group and doing that training, which people are still going back and looking at, which is amazing,
Yay.
right?
That was
So I'm super
fun.
excited. It was, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again.
Yes.
So, so anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching or listening to this broadcast. I really appreciate you. Again, thank you for joining me, Lauren. Thank you. This has been amazing. And thank you for watching or listening to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. And make sure that you like, share, or subscribe if you are on YouTube. If you're on one of the podcast places, make sure that you like it and that you share it. So again, thank you for watching or listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Outta Savannah, Talking with Tammi.